I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Mal Spain. And we are, of course, your fuck buddies.
We are a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
We find questions either online or from our twisted listeners. That's you. And we answer them here right now in your ears every Monday, sometimes other places such as Patreon or on stage. But right now, all you need to know is that this week we're going to talk about, is it creepy for a 30-plus-year-old man to date teenagers?
Statue sex.
Am I overreacting? She shit in the shower.
I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. Judgy friend sex.
No, we're hitting them with the this week on real quick. You did mention you want to talk about something though. Should we do a little interlude, or should I bust right into my first question?
No, let's talk about this. It's not really sex news. It's kind of like internet drama news, I guess. But it's something I've been seeing on Threads, which I don't really go on Threads ever, but every time I open Threads, this woman is there getting yelled at by many people. So I wanted to see what it was all about. So it is a author by the name of Erin Lee. Have you heard of any of this? No. There's no way you would know of this author because I believe she has never published a book, and she's currently in the process of self-publishing her first book, which is, for what I can understand, about death, because that is about all she ever says, is that my book is about death. So anyway, there's two things I want to talk about. Well, I guess only one real thing. So this is the post that popped off.
Okay.
I killed a dog in my book and said there's no afterlife. Then I watched a writing video that said pets can have a big role in books, so be careful. And a beta reader. I came with that a little harder. Beta as in as a test reader. Yeah. Sorry.
You put some stank on that.
Yeah.
Fucking beta reader.
And a beta reader asked me if the dog dies and said she checks a site of a list of books to avoid. Then a dating app guy said my afterlife rule was a hard pass and dipped. Damn, people, dog culture is dire. They're a great pet, but stop acting like they're little moons orbiting them. Your behavior is raising our vet bills. They're not a child. Chill. So already pretty unhinged, pretty Better Betch energy.
I was going to ask earlier, is Better Betch getting published, but
yeah,
I should have, because that would have been funnier.
And I was weird. They seem to be two completely separate thoughts in terms of here is a complaint someone had about your dog death in your book, and here's a complaint you had about someone on online dating.
And I also it's pretty fucking reasonable for someone to not want to read a book about a dog dying. Also wild that you'd be the dog died and there's no afterlife.
So I don't know if she's saying if on her dating profile she has something that says your dog's gonna die and it won't go anywhere when it's dead. I don't know if
or is it just there's no afterlife for any of us?
Yeah.
Or is it specifically dogs? Because if so, we got to have a chat, Erin Lee.
So I don't really know where I stand on what I think that's happening. But then I was it's weird. The dating inclusion thing is strange. So I kept digging, and
we're basically detectives for everyone listening. I just want you all to know.
Yeah, I put on a cool trench coat. I channeled my inner Trevor Campbell, and I got to the bottom of this. I didn't. So on Threads, you can sort of post into communities. Essentially, you can choose a area to sort of send your thread. I don't know what it does, but so this is Erin Lee author into the indie author section.
Okay.
Please, I'm begging you, keep things simple. I asked a man what his favorite band was. The attached was his response. Just say one band and stop. This applies to every aspect in life, including your writing. Please, people overcomplicate everything, and I get why. Simplicity isn't simple, but it's really important skill to learn, and so refreshing to talk to a person who understands this. So this is another screenshot of online dating conversation. It looks like it's probably Bumble or him.
Okay, sure.
And his response was, "Can I pick 50?" Winky laugh emoji. I'm a fellow 90s lover. Nine Inch Nails, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, blah, 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 blah. I also love tons of other artists from lots of genres. And then he lists a bunch of other things. And then it says, haha, I could keep going. I have a lot of passion for my something. I'm not sure what. But like, I would say that there's...
I'm here to point out that like, this is bullshit. And like, how dare you respond enthusiastically with like a lot of fuel for conversation? Like, you should have just said Metallica.
So this is my thing. If I was on a dating website and I said, hey, what kind of music do you like? And someone responded with one band,
yeah,
I would be so
Sabrina Carpenter
bored.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Also, like, even if that's true, it's like, one, it's weird to just be like that. This is my favorite thing. You know what I mean? I think that's weird. And two,
yes,
you're killing the conversation a little bit, right? Whereas with this, it's like, one, you have many things to talk about, but two, you're kind of, one, showing your personality, and two, you're like giving a wider arrangement of things that you might actually overlap on. So it's all good in my opinion.
Yeah, like imagine if someone was like, oh, hey, like, what do you like to eat? Like, let's go for dinner for our first date. What would you like to eat?
Actually, that's too vague. Ragu.
Yeah, just like fettuccine Alfredo. Okay, that's it, huh? That's the only thing. It's like, what do you mean? Like, I understand. Like, even have you never heard the saying the devil is in the details? Like, almost
that's
specifically
the devil. She doesn't want to get anywhere near the devil, which is weird that she believes in the devil, but no afterlife.
but not the afterlife. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I saw this and I was like,
this person must be the best writer. He walked down the road and shot the dog. There was no afterlife. He went home. He cried and was sad about it. The end.
The end.
Simple.
Yeah.
Effective. Is it a fiction book?
I believe so.
Okay. I do feel bad shit talking an author who is yet to be published, given that I am an author who is yet to be published in a novelistic sense.
I was going to say you've been published in several things.
Yeah, but short stories. It's, but also they don't sound great.
Again, I'm not coming after her writing. I have no idea what her writing is. I have no idea her
but we
skill
can
or
come
talent.
after her dating, and she's doing it wrong.
Yeah, and I was just like, for me, I was sitting there, and it's been a while since we've like talked about like dating profiles, right? Like we haven't done a Tinder review in a while. We kind of like phase those out. We do them at the live show, but we don't really do them here.
And we'll still do them if listeners send them in
of
themselves. You know what I mean? We just like got a little bored trawling the internet for what is quite literally slop.
Yeah. It bummed me out being like, man, is this the metric in which people are dating? Like, are you the outlier? And I'm glad the response from the general public was very much like in this guy's favor, being like, how dare he be enthusiastic about a question you asked? Like, how dare he give you information about himself on an app where the whole point is to getting to know each other?
The literal point.
So I think there is a fine line. If this guy literally wrote like essays and pages and pages and pages of things, then like, yeah, sure, that's weird. But to give you a pretty comprehensive but like truncated list of things that he's into, that's what you want. As Nell said, you want, hopefully, like maybe there's a random ass band. Like there are some weird bands in there that he lists that I've like never heard of. He does like Frank Turner though.
Oh, hell yeah. I will say weird bands is as good. Like stuff you literally know nothing about is as good as stuff you love, I would say, if not better. Because you get to be like, oh yeah, Nine Inch Nails, I know of them, whatever. But you could be like, who the fuck's Frank Turner? And then that is very exciting. They're going to send you music. You're going to bond over it. Like, I think people need to get their heads out of their asses with dating and realize that you not knowing anything about a subject is actually really good. Unless that subject is like kindness or, kissing.
Yeah. And it's like,
teach me how to kiss, girl.
I think there are some things that are detrimental. Like, for example, if you aren't a very political person, if you don't engage in sort of like political discourse, and all of a sudden you're starting to like date someone who cares deeply about that. Like I've gone on dates where politics ends up sort of like coming up in a conversation. Not usually something I try to talk about, but like, especially talking about this show, politics tend to come up in regards to it. And then people being like, I don't know anything that you're talking about. Like that's kind of a turnoff for me. But when it comes to interests and stuff, like as Nell said, like plan a date where you guys make a playlist for each other.
Yeah.
And you like, you know what I mean? Like you can do the Spotify collab things now and be like, take turns adding a song. Every other song is like you trade back and forth while you fucking cook or something.
Yeah, like it's a blessing. And enthusiasm is what you want. Like, fuck single word answers. Even if it's like, if they actually answer your question, if it is just like Metallica. Cool, bro.
I can't imagine
she's my hell.
If this is her like philosophy of being like, oh, if someone asks me a question on online or like online dating platforms, I'm going to answer as simply as possible. Why?
Yeah. Also, like, imagine if you were literally like having a conversation in person, which again, text should be pretty similar to that. They're going to flow better if it's exciting and whatever. But if you were like, oh, like, what'd you do yesterday? Work. That's not exciting. That's like, okay, this person's sad and doesn't want to have a chat with me. You know what I mean? Even if it's just like, oh, I was working for a bit and I got home and I, watched Gossip Girl. That's got meat to it and it's like got a flow and it's, a conversation. It's not just a bullet point. Yeah. This person is definitely, they're used to chatting to ChatGPT, which is just like blah, 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 blah. Metallica.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine like, what did you do today? I wrote. What did you write? A book. What's
Words.
it about? Like, that sucks.
Death.
That's not a conversation. That's, once again, now you're in like an interview and that's bad.
And a bad interview too. Like, I wouldn't hire you. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's get into it.
This is by Environment Fast 4543. Is it creepy for 30-plus-year-old man to date teenagers? I'm talking 18 to 19-year-olds. I'm currently 24. For context, I had bowel leakage from 15 till now that has affected my ability to date. It occurred because I was bullied in high school to the point of sustaining nerve damage in my pelvic floor. When I get it fixed, I'm wondering at what age does it become creepy to date 18 to 19-year-olds? If there's societal stigma against it, how do I overcome it? Do I just have to be more aggressive about it? I have a lot of pent-up sexual anger about it, and I just don't want to miss out. Also, I never got to go to prom. What age is the latest I can do this? 35? 40? Also, I just graduated with a 3.97 out of 4 in finance from a super prestigious school and can't get a job in the current market. What is the best age to get a corporate job? 30? 35? It's not like finance is ageist or anything. I'm just so excited for the next step of my life. I can't wait to see what life has next in store for me, with a sarcasm tag, which is why I delivered it weird.
I was like, man, you fucking hate this guy, which, to be fair, deserves a little stink on it. Okay. First and foremost, it sucks that you were bullied to the point of like severe physical injury. It sounds like that sucks.
That's awful. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely terrible. And I apologize on behalf of the world that you had to go through that. That's horrible. Before you date teenagers, I think you need to recognize a couple things that you said. One, the thing that you say you have a lot of anger and a lot of sexual frustration or sexual aggression, sexual violence. What was it? It wasn't good.
It was a very pent-up sexual anger.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's like
that energy
crime talk, dude,
is gonna get you in trouble.
Yes.
That's gonna get you crossing a line that you shouldn't. And I'm not here saying that you're a sexual assaulter. I'm not here, but
if you sounds like you're saying you're going to be one.
That's like right.
It sounds like that's the plan. Like, I don't understand where this sexual anger comes from. And
what your outlet
what you're planning to do, yes.
Other than direct it towards teenage women, like women like half your age,
which is
like
fucked.
that's insane. That's a bad thing. So what you need to do first and foremost before you attempt to get over any of this is go to therapy.
Yes, 100%.
Desperately need it.
Yes.
You went through a significantly traumatic experience. Again, you went through like physical bullying to the point of severe physical injury that took you, it seems like, several years, if not a decade, to heal from. So you need to deal with that and process that. And it doesn't sound like you're doing a very good job of it on your own. No. And I don't blame you.
Yeah, of course. You went through something terrible, but like step one is you need to get therapy, because you need to realize that like whatever happened to you isn't these young women's fault, and it isn't the world's fault in the way that like there's not a thing to get back at. The only thing you can do now is ruin your life going forward or make other people suffer like you have, which you've been through it and you know it's bad. So why the fuck would you do that to somebody else, especially somebody not involved? Right.
And this is specifically what therapy is for.
Exactly.
Right? Like
exactly.
Breaking the cycle of violence. Like it's almost 9 times out of 10, people who do abusive things were abused, right? Like, especially when it comes to sexual violence. And that's the beauty of therapy is that is the, I would say, best tool to break that cycle. Otherwise, you're going to fuck your life up and you're going to fuck someone else's life up.
Yeah.
Real bad.
100%.
So
and
that
like,
aside,
even if things don't go as poorly as they could, which again, by the sounds of it, seems possible, even if you're just going into this bitter and weird and creepy, you're going to have a terrible time and people are going to not have a bad time. It's going to make you feel worse and more bitter and everything. Because again, from this message, I wouldn't let you near anybody, let alone a 19-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
And these are your words, right?
Yes,
like, this isn't someone talking about you, right? Like, this isn't a post like, my friend is X, Y, and Z. This is you describing yourself and your situation, and it's so bad.
Yeah.
But let's remove that. We'll put that in a little box and put it off to the side. Let's talk about the bigger question of, is it okay for people in their 30s to date teenagers? I think you need to say that phrase out loud in your head. And you answer it yourself. Do you think adult men or adults should date teenagers? If that's that's the question you're asking, and that answer hopefully is very obvious.
Also, like, this is one of those instances where we can talk about it from a different perspective, where, like, you know, if someone meets someone and that turns out they're 19 and they're in their they're 27 or something and they met in the night out and then they're like, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it could be a little gray area in like, oh, if they're 19 and they're blah, blah, you know, it's hard for us to say. But it's very easy for us to say because you seem to want to specifically date an age range and also specifically for like bitterness reasons / missing out reasons.
Yeah, you seem to be trying to like make up for lost time. And that's not how it works.
So you're asking, is it creepy? In this instance, like, again, it's generally creepy. Like, there's going to be very few instances where it isn't, especially the older you get. But like in this instance, yes, it is hard and fast creepy because you're doing it with these really weird intentions that like are not great.
Yeah. And hey, let me tell you right now, if you are not of the age to go to prom,
yeah, you
do
can't
not go to prom.
Especially 35, 40, go to prom, dude, you can't. And look, I empathize. It sucks that you've missed out. It sucks that you went through these terrible things. But like, prom sucks. Or like, didn't suck, but whatever. You can do something that is at least as good as prom that isn't creepy and weird.
Also, let me just tell you, I know of at least 3 events in Toronto that do like
adult proms,
theme things, right? Mm-hmm. In which you go with your friend group and it's prom themed, you all dress up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is an opportunity for you to heal that child in you that didn't get to go to prom in a safe and healthy way by going with your friends. Yeah. With people that are your age. Mm-hmm. And you go and you get to sort of like relive that magic. And I promise you, 1, you're of age to drink, so it'll be a lot more fun. And 2, you're going to be in a place where everyone is going there to have a good time.
Yeah.
So and the vibe is going to be good.
You'll get to explore what you want in a way that is safe for you and for others and healthy. Whereas if you go to prom, 1, it's going to be hard for you to get there, I hope. And 2, it's not going to be normal or good. You're going to be an outsider at best, if not like removed from the premises at worst. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the teachers and the chaperones or whatever the fuck, I don't know how you guys do prom over here, but it's like, you could well just subject yourself to a lot of other teenagers bullying you again. They're going to be like, who the fuck's this weird old guy? It's going to be bad is what I'm saying. And I know you don't want to hear that, but do what Dane said, do the healthy, fun, like ulterior option. And it's going to be so much better. Like, there are healthy ways for you to deal with what you've missed out on, not these. You can't teleport yourself back to being that age. And while there is like a pity to that, and I'm sure a loss, in a way, you're probably also missing a lot of the bad stuff. So like, I think that's the silver lining here is like, yeah, you've missed some of your stuff from your childhood, but the things you can now do as an adult with other adults, hopefully you're mature because they will be more mature and you can deal with a lot less of the bullshit. So it's like, yes, you're missing out, but you're probably gaining, right?
Yeah, you get to choose who you go through it with.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Right?
Like, clearly you were in school with some assholes. Now you get to go to a prom with not some assholes.
So it's very...
Adult prom.
It's very simple. And I think the fact that you're asking these questions, like the question of being like, is there societal pressure to not? Yeah, dude. Yes, you know that. There's no mystery here that it's genuinely frowned upon by the society at large for adult, specifically men, to date teenage girls, especially with the goal to go to their prom.
Yes.
And if this is really boggling your brain, break it down. Follow Aaron Lee's advice and break it down into simple like concepts and think, should an adult man go to a high school dance?
No.
Like, that's the question you're asking.
They shouldn't.
And if your answer is yes, then you got a lot more therapy ahead of you, my dude.
Yeah. Well, you do. Also, like, if there's societal stigma against it, how do I overcome this? You don't. Date someone of an appropriate age in an appropriate fashion for appropriate reasons. Do I just have to be more aggressive about it? No, bud.
No.
Not at all, in fact. Quite the opposite. Do not do that. Take aggression and sexual anger out of your life by going to therapy and getting right, because these are scary terms.
Yeah.
So please, I don't want to like add fuel to the fire. Like, I know we're being a little harsh here, but it's like, you have to understand when you say things like this, we have to take it seriously, right? We're on your side in terms of
tough love.
Yeah, we're on your side in terms of things that have gone bad for you, and we understand the feeling of missing out and being hurt and wanting to get back the things you missed. But you can do that in healthy ways, and healthy ways are not being sexually aggressive or angry and like preying on young women and going to places you wouldn't be welcome and shouldn't be welcome. You could date someone closer to your age and you're going to have as much fun. And let me tell you, more fun, because they'll be more mature and it won't be weird. You're not missing out on anything being with someone who's 24 versus 19. And if you think you are, therapy.
Yeah. And look, I think there's something to be said about like the agency of women, right? A 19-year-old woman is an adult. And
yes,
they should be allowed to choose their partners as well. However, I do think that there is an inherent problem once you get, like, again, if you're in your 20s, especially early 20s, and you're dating a 19-year-old, I don't really give a shit. But I think if you're like long-term plan, if you're thinking that like in your 30s, your 35s, your 40s, if your goal is to remain targeted at 18 and 19, then there's an underlying cause for that. That is not normal behavior.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that there aren't women
inherently toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way you're doing that unless you're like, oh, they're more valuable because they're young and nubile, or like I can get away with more because they don't know shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no good reason for this, because both of those things I just said are bullshit. And fucked up.
That is the common like conversation. Whenever I watch like all these horrible fucking internet personalities. There's that one guy who has the whatever show. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a piece of shit. But like his panel of bros is always like, well, I want to find a young woman so I can train them early. And it's like, cool. That's gross. Great. That's called like grooming,
like
my
a
dude.
Dog?
Like,
yeah, wonderful, dude. Thank you.
So there is an inherent badness to targeting someone a younger age. Mm-hmm. And again, like, I don't want to tell 19-year-old women who they can or can't date. I would, however, urge them to think why an adult man wants to date a teenager.
Mm-hmm. Probably not for good reasons.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're mature for your age, probably. But yes, this is bad. You need help. It sounds like you're doing well, like you've graduated with good marks. I can't help you with the job market front. Sorry, my dude. But like, I think you just have to really invest in some self-care. Like, it seems like you're going after healthcare in terms of getting this issue fixed. And I wish you all the best with that. I really hope it happens quickly, seamlessly, painlessly, and successfully. But you then need to work on the other things, the other injuries you've sustained, which are to your pride and your ego and your soul and your mindset. You know what I mean? Like, you need to become positive, because you're going to have this second chance, right? When this problem goes away, right? You're going to be able to go forward and, like, you know, get in on the things that you feel like you missed out on. But I mean that in a healthy adult way, and not in a you get to 21 Jump Street it and pretend you're still in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That isn't it. And you're not going to be missing out as much as you think by not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you meet someone who's fucking 25, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And I mean that in like a, you don't haggardly age in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's some toxic bullshit mindset from some really bad podcast. They're not going to be like, you're not actually missing out on anything tangible. It's just you've set some weird barrier in your mind. So if you can get over that, you can have a relationship. You can go and do fun events, and like, it will be as good, if not better, than what you're hoping to get, which is impossible and creepy.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Are you talking to me or him?
Both.
Yes. This question comes from Galbert.
I fucking hate Galbert. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't know what this is about.
This is let me tell you, when I read this question, I had to like start over again because it starts in a way and ends in a way that I didn't expect.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriend broke up our 6-year relationship at the beginning of this year. She was my first everything. I, a male 22-year-old, learned about sex from her. Had sex with another girl after the breakup, but just twice. So I consider myself very new to this and discovering new things. Last Saturday, I had a one-night stand with the third girl in my life. What happened during sex is what made me curious. There was a moment where she asked me to stay still and don't move. I stopped moving and asked if everything was okay, and she answered yes and repeated to stay still. I did not move, make any more thrusts, but suddenly my penis unconsciously throbbed, and again she said, "Please, I beg of you, don't make any movements. I'm gonna come." It was almost like a minute with complete silence, and we both froze like statues when suddenly she started to squeeze her vagina with repeated movements, which I knew was her orgasming. After, the sex continued normally until I came as well. I tried to ask her what that was all about because I had never heard about stopping the thrust to orgasm, and she just said it was at the spot that was mind-blowing, and just to leave it there without movement made her come. Ever since, even though I'm new to sex things, in my head, thrusts were needed to stimulate the vagina, and be still without any movement was like I wouldn't stimulate in any way at all. The conversation ended there, and I know her just for the last month, so that is why I'm on the internet asking about it. Is it uncommon? Is it just her preference? How is it possible to orgasm with the penis still in the vagina physiologically without me making any sexual movement? Let me tell you, the amount of editing I was doing on the fly there to make that even more comprehensible than it is written.
I could sense you. It was like watching someone parkouring over like fallen rubble.
It was more like I had fallen off a horse, but my leg had got
was
caught
still
up
in the stirrup.
And I was just being fucking dragged and just holding on for dear life.
I appreciate that you listened to your partner in the moment, and she came. 10 out of 10, bud. You've beaten most men. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're in the top 20%. Is it common? There have been times where like people are like too, like clitoral stimulation becomes too much, and they say like, no, don't, like, stop for now, or like get softer or whatever when they're about to come, some people, or like things becoming too much. I've dealt with that. But like we cannot move, a la like Quiet Place. There's a monster creeping through the room. If we make one sound or movement, we're dead. No, but like, does it matter?
That's it.
Like,
right?
Fuck it. That's the easiest thing a girl's ever asked you to do, I bet. Actually, maybe it was tough.
I always want to sneak in here and just say, this, I don't think, is a repertoire or a move to be added to your repertoire.
No.
And that's kind of the important takeaway from this was, this might not even be a move that you use ever again with this woman. Like, it might just have been, stars aligned, and you were just in that magical spot at the right point in time, and it just felt fucking great. As a dude, let me tell you, that's great. That kicks ass. You did arguably nothing, and you made her come. That's badass. Congratulations. That's the goal, right? Like, making your partner come is the point of sex.
Yeah. And listening to them and communicating, and like, she trusted you, you listened, you did it. Like, 10 out of 10, hats off. Dane is completely right. If you witness that with someone else, they're going to be like, this guy's broken.
Unless you've got like a weird magic dick where it feels like you can, like, unless you figure out like just through sort of,
magic spot.
Yeah. If you could figure out how to get there and just be like,
G spot in a weird way. We don't even have to manipulate it. You just got to touch it.
Yeah.
You just got to be in proximity.
Like, hey, baby, don't move. I'm not going to move. And 1 minute you're going to fucking O-Town, baby.
Well, that's the thing. If like I completely reverse everything I said, make it a repertoire move. Because can you imagine just being like, hey, sit there, don't move. What do you just trust me? And then they're like, oh my God, oh no.
Right?
And then you've done, now you're top 0.1% because you've done nothing and given them everything, which I think is a Pitbull lyric.
I think would be cool, but the likelihood of that happening is slim. So I think the takeaway here is kind of what Niall just touched on, is when your partner tells you to do something or not do something because they're going to come, listen to them. And look, I'm guilty of this every now and then, especially as a younger man, when a woman's like, keep doing that.
And you immediately
it feels really good. I'm going to come.
As is
and then you get
written
excited.
In the male creed when we were born, we have to sign a little document with our baby fingers that just says, I'm going to shake it up for no reason and ruin things a little bit. Yeah. But you learn to not do that. And the fact that you listened and did this appropriately is great. Now, I will say, and I feel like we don't have to spell these out sometimes, but I always like to, if they ask you to do something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it. It doesn't matter if it'll make them come. If you're not comfortable doing it, you don't want to do it. Don't do it, right? That matters still. Just want to make that sure. Make that clear. Also, like, I think men never really get told that. So,
Yeah, true. Yeah, I just thought it was a funny thing where I was like, you're on, like, you've got the right knowledge. I just want to make sure that you're taking the right part away and not thinking that, like, oh, a woman in a singular sexual experience experienced this thing. This is the thing that I need to try to replicate for the rest of my life. Because you are still young. Your experience is limited. I don't want you to think that. The takeaway is your partner gave you instructions pretty clearly. You followed them. You listened. You trusted them. And you guys arrived at a stunning conclusion for the both of you. And that's great.
A stunning conclusion.
Correct.
But yeah, I would just be hesitant to do that again. Because let me tell you, I don't think I've ever done that. So
I will say
it's not a move in my repertoire of just like, hold on, shh, we're not going to do nothing.
I've had a woman do essentially this, where they were just like, stop, and then just like, but it wasn't it was more of a like, I'm coming within seconds, and I need to focus, and I'm going to focus on this and make it real good. I used to sleep with someone who needed to get into kind of like a wild position in order to come.
Okay.
And I could tell that, like, they had shielded me from it for a while until they kind of felt comfortable and knew that I was cool. In the sense of, like, they were finally like, hey, I'm going to do something kind of weird. Just trust me. It's going to make me come.
Explain the position though.
So it was, imagine like cowgirl.
Yeah.
It would always be, they were on top. Okay. They would put their legs straight in between my legs so that they were almost like planking.
Oh, but they would lie back?
No, they would be.
So they'd be sitting up, legs would be straight and planking, sure.
It was more like they would be lying. So like I'm here and they were here, but they would be like,
so they are lying
straight.
Back.
Huh?
So they're lying back against you, right?
No. Well,
so you're lying down, right?
Yeah.
She's cowgirling.
Yeah.
But you said her legs are out straight, but then you seem to say she was like that, which means she would be lying down.
Lying down, but not back. Back implies the other way. So we were face to face.
Oh, for some reason I went like
reverse cowgirl.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we were normal cowgirl facing each other, and she would lie face to face. So we were practically like,
but her legs were straight,
and her legs were straight.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it was
like a Bethesda like glitch. But you know what? Apparently, having like, because there's like a lot of like porn, like leg spreading, like. Just like a lot of men think you got to spread those legs, but women come a lot more easily if their legs are closer.
Well, she proved it.
Yeah.
I assume the leg spreading thing is for camera.
Yeah, for sure. But like men still, or people still take porn to be, instructive when it isn't necessarily. But yeah, sometimes if you let them close, it's like a blood flow thing and it's more comfortable, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah, just one of my favorite things to do. Missionary.
Also, we can tighten it up. Yeah.
Legs straight up, cross those ankles over my shoulder. I got something to hold on to. It's like I'm like reverse sex Santa. And they're my little sack of toys.
Damn. But you're putting the toys in the sack. The toys are your
the stockings.
So wait, they're stockings and they're sacks?
Yeah, their whole body is the stocking. Or it's the sack. Their vagina is the stocking.
This is by Shower Thoughts.
My dick is the toys.
The cum is the toys.
Well, no, sorry. My dick wouldn't be the toys. You don't really put toys in stocking. You put like little treats.
But small treats, small toys. You put like a USB extender and like a Chapters gift card in there.
Yeah.
And those like chocolate coins.
Yeah, coins, chocolates. Yeah, gift cards.
So is your jizz the gift cards or the coins?
I think my jizz is just festive frosting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my shower thoughts. Am I overreacting? She shit with me in the shower. This one's especially for your partner to listen to because I know she loves when we talk.
You're not overreacting, and we could probably just move on.
Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I don't want this affiliated with my main, so it's a throwaway. I, female 22, have been dating this girl, female 21, for 3 months. It's been great. Only red flag I've seen before this was she was messy, leaving things without putting them away, including trash. But yesterday we went to karaoke, got super wasted, and spilled her drink all over us. No big deal. We went to my apartment. We were in the shower, nothing sexy or anything. We were a bit too drunk for that. But I remember looking down, and there's a streak on the bottom of the shower, and I asked her what it was. I shit you not. She said, oopsie, I did a poopsie, and pushed the ball of shit down the drain with her toe. Puking emoji. I don't know what to say. I kind of just stood there. This chick really just pooped. I told myself she was drunk. We could talk about tomorrow, today. Fast forward to this morning. We wake up. I could not get what I saw yesterday out of my head, and I tried to keep it light and laugh about it. Maybe try to get it in the toilet in the future. And she goes on to explain she just feels comfortable with me and doesn't want to hide who she is anymore. I asked if she poops in the shower all the time. She does. I asked she could refrain from doing it in my shower, and she agreed. But I feel like I can't move past this and look at her the same, and I kind of want to break up with her. Am I overreacting?
Is this did I hear correctly that this is two ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that this changes the goddamn thing.
I was waiting for you to be like, then it's fine.
I just want to make sure I'm using the right pronouns, you know? Look, this is bad. And I don't really know how much discussion we can have on this in terms of...
I think it's totally fine, so...
Oh, there you go. All right. A little contentious debate.
I'm joking. It's not for me, dog.
Yeah. Look, the thing is, we've done this podcast long enough to know that there are
little dirty freaks out there.
Yeah, not a singular person who poops in the shower. There's quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you aren't comfortable with it, there's no point dating someone, because ideally you date someone, hopefully, eventually, you move in with them, you create a life with them. Great, cool. It's fine to ask someone to not poop in your shower. I don't know.
Can you ask her not to poop in both of your showers?
In
the shower you co-own? Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because it's her shower now too. And she should be allowed to use it however she pleases.
Yeah, which includes waffle stomping, apparently.
Yeah. So I think that, I think you just got to be you got to keep true to yourself and chase your bliss and live your truth and say, hey, sorry, that's a no for me, dog.
You ever pooped in the shower, Dane?
No.
Same. Nor do I want
upsetting.
to. I would be so sad if I did it. It wouldn't be a good, I guess it's to save time or something. Unless you just like the feeling, but it would be, I don't even know if I could make my body do it. And even if I did, everything else surrounding it would make it so much more effort than just pooping in the toilet.
It would be an affront
where poop lives
to every god that's ever existed. I think it is one of the most unnatural things. Pooping standing up, our bodies aren't meant for that.
Maybe they are, though.
No. Literally,
fair, yeah.
Physiologically, they are not. There's the whole reason that we have squatty potties is because that is the ideal form for the human body to poop. That's why we poop in holes back in the day. And that was specifically for two reasons. One, it was good for us, for posture-wise. And two, you could bury it so the predators wouldn't find you.
Yeah, but now you can waffle stomp it. And who needs posture when you can just let loose standing up after karaoke? Yeah, no, I don't like it. And the thing is, look, if she can't clean up her trash, what makes you think she's going to be cleaning up her errant poops? Have you been in her shower?
She a messy girl. She is a messy girl. And if that ain't for you, then don't let it be for you.
Yeah. And the thing is, Dane raises a very good point where it's it's one thing to be you can't in this shower, but if you guys move in and then she starts pooping, you knew she was going to.
Yeah.
She's not going to change her whole thing for you.
Yeah. But hey, let me just tell you, I think it's important to be true to yourself, but I think if you are committed to the shower poop lifestyle, maybe consider being flexible on it. And I promise you'll have a better romantic life. You just will. Just across the board, you will.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, it's this one. This is from Agreeable Hater. My friends judge my boyfriend and I's sex life. My boyfriend, a 27-year-old male, and I, a 24-year-old female, have been dating for about 6 months.
He keeps not doing anything. He just sits there, frozen like a statue, like a Get Out monsters in the room.
We live about 40 minutes away from each other, so we used to see each other frequently. Now he's been working out of town for a few weeks, so we only see each other on the weekends. So during the weekday, we sex, sometimes have phone sex, etc. We obviously have more conversations than just sex, but we crave each other a lot. On the weekends, we usually grab lunch or dinner and do some type of activity, movies, arcade, shopping, etc. And then we'll go back to one of our places and get down to business. Over a span of a few hours, we go 3 or 4 rounds, which I think is reasonable. Afterwards, we cuddle, catch up on the show that we watch together, eat snacks, talk, laugh, etc. My friends have made comments that we seem like we're a little addicted to sex. They said that this is a honeymoon phase and it'll pass. I find my boyfriend very attractive. He has big-ass biceps. Now,
hell yeah.
I would love to know if she's just missing a comma here and if she's saying he got big-ass, biceps, abs, beautiful eyes, or big-ass biceps. Doesn't really matter either way.
I'm hoping he's got some cake.
Yeah, I'm hoping this boy's thick.
But the thing is, like, we all have biceps. So
true.
If she doesn't say big ass biceps, it's like, is she just like, he can move his arms up.
He does have the necessary muscles attached to his arm.
All his muscle groups exist.
You get the vibe. So I love being intimate with him, as I assume he is with me. So when we don't see each other for a week, it builds up. And so when the weekend comes, we finally release all that tension. Before his new work schedule, we would see each other a couple times a week and we'd have sex every time too. I asked my boyfriend if he thinks that we have too much sex or if we have sex too much, and he absolutely cackled, LOL. So that's where we left that conversation. Just curious if anyone else has any or had someone say something similar to them and how they handled it. It just makes me feel a little insecure to make me think, am I sex crazed?
Who fucking cares? Like, what are you upset about? What are you worried about? Why are you telling your friends all this level of detail anyway? It's like
that. I think that you just touched on might be the issue. I don't think your friends maybe necessarily are judging you for how much sex that you're having in a relationship. I think they may be judging based on
how much you talk about it to them.
You talk about it to them. Because we've all been with that person who has like recently started seeing someone that they're like completely head over heels for. And you have to sit through like every gushy detail about the positions they were doing and how much they fucked and blah, 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 and how long they did it. And they're so tired. And it's like every sort of like, they find a way to shoehorn it into it's like, we're talking about Last of Us right now. I don't want to I don't care about the last orgasm you had with
that
him.
One mushroom guy kind of looked like when I shoehorned it right in. Okay. You're shoehorning it in now. Yeah. Like it's very possible that like, there's a few different things. One, they want you to shut the fuck up because they're sick of it. Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, why are you telling them in so much detail anyway? Right. That is actually the thing. So maybe you are obsessed and it's less with the fucking and more with the like, ooh, look how cool and sexy and like whatever I am. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so they're sick of it. 2, maybe they're jealous. 3, maybe they're prudes. Either way, why do you care? Like, I think the only time you should be concerned as to whether you're sex crazed is if it's like, you know, you met up and you guys really needed to go over tax documentation together. And then you boned so much that you missed tax season and now you each owe $1,000. It's like, okay, yeah, your sex life is fucking your life over. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, we had to go see friends and then we just kept fucking. And then, oh no, our friends, we missed their birthday and now they all hate us because it's the 8th time it's happened. Like,
now,
if it's starting to affect your life,
this could be doing that right now if their friends are saying you're obsessed, you're sex crazed. That could be happening. So
yes,
right. Like,
but in that case, I don't even think you're sex crazed. I think you're craving like clout or like you're insecure or you're trying to prove something. I think it's a different thing. It's just coming across to them that you can't shut the fuck up about thing. And they're probably not even like, girl, you're having too much sex. They're probably just saying, girl, shut up.
Yeah. So I would like maybe consider that your friends, this is the nice way for your friends to say that they don't really care about this 6-month relationship. Because like, look, Niall and I have had talks where like, if we met someone out on a night out, we would have a little, you know, conversation, be like, oh, I ended up hooking up with her. Cool. Blah, blah, blah. You know, we're best friends. We talk about that stuff. And I understand that like friends do that. But Niall and I are both in committed relationships. If like, we don't it's not important or interesting. I don't think to either
if
one
every
of
time
us.
we met up, I was like, we guess we had sex today. If we like, okay, dude, like, well
So
done,
stupid.
congrats, you lost your virginity. Oh no, you did that ages ago. Why are we talking about it?
Yeah, right. Like, and so I think like it might have been cool and interesting when you first started seeing this guy, and they're probably happy for you.
Mhm.
But you've been seeing the same guy for 6 months, and if I had to hear
Oh god,
like a story, like
Also,
If-
let's be fair. Unless you're having notable sex for some reason, either like something really funny happened, or for some reason it was incredibly hot, or like, you know, you came for the first time. Congrats, yay! Like, unless it's that, I don't really care. You know what I mean? If someone's
Yeah,
like,
just
I
being
had
like-
sex, cool, great, good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do a sex podcast.
we talk about it all the time.
If you wrote in a question, you were like, "We have sex all the time," I'd be like, "What's the fucking point of this question?"
Yeah,
Right? Like,
cool.
yeah. So it's very possible you have just bored your friends and they want you to stop. I
Now,
don't
on
think
the
you
flip
need
side-
to be worried about it unless it is getting in
Yes.
the way of your life. As I pointed out with my very concise and realistic tax season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, as Nell said, if your friends are just being fucking salty about you getting laid,
Mhm.
who the fuck cares? But like, I think the advice is still the same. Just stop talking about it.
Yes. Because, like, if they're asking about it, which for some reason I assumed when the question started, like, what, you know, you can just be like, the usual, or you can move on. Like, I'm sure it's uninteresting to you in this scenario to keep talking about it. So it's like, if you keep talking about it for your own reasons, stop. No one cares. If they keep asking you, why?
Yeah, if that's okay, that's a very interesting. If they're like, "Hey, like you hook up with Brad lately,"
Yeah.
and then they're
Did you
if
do
you're
your
like, "Yeah, we
typical
do-"
3 to 4 times in a couple of hours because after a week you're really pent up? It's like, why are you asking?
Yeah, then maybe these people are sort of like government agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe they work for one of the rival evil sex podcasts where they're trying to like slut shame.
Have you? This is kind of tangential, and by kind of I mean very. But have you seen the rising trend of people on TikTok? I've only. Well, no, I think I've seen some on Instagram as well, where people are like, you know, you're being followed when the easiest way to find out if you're being followed is that there's always someone sitting behind you. The easiest way to find out, and it's just like people like
Doing
like
normal
they'll
stuff.
be at like the gym or a food court or something. Be like, I was here, and this guy conveniently sat down behind me. It's like, man, it's a fucking food court.
Yeah.
But I've seen like 9 of them so far of all different people being like. So I was like, is this just a new trend? Is this just like the new joke?
Yeah. I feel like it's probably either a joke and or just people realize like it's trending, because like most social media and like content creator thing is really just like, oh, I know this will get a reaction, so I'm going to say it, whether or not it's a good thing or true, which is why most dating advice stuff is so inflammatory, right? And everyone's just evil because they know if you're upset, you'll like get involved, which is really why we're bad at our jobs, because we actually take things seriously and try to do nice
we try
things
to
instead
actually
of just
help
being
people.
like, yeah. You know he's
So
cheating
actually,
on you if he plays Marvel Rivals as the new code word for I'm cheating on her. You know? Like we could
Yeah.
say that and we'd probably get a lot of views.
Yeah. We should I was gonna say we should do an episode where we just give really bad advice.
No,
but
we
you
would-
know that will be the clip that goes viral, or like the episode that goes viral. And be
But
like,
that's the point.
"These
It's like
assholes."
you have to
I
be
know.
so like shameless that you just be like, I'll say a thing that is fake and wrong and bad just so people like get upset. And like
Yeah.
a large percentage of people will take it seriously and I will cause untold harm. But you know what? I got my views, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Speaking of views, let's take a moment to welcome the Netherlands. Guys, you have just bust in to our top 3 countries of listenership. You just booted Philippines down to number 4. Philippines, you got to get those numbers up. We love you. But Netherlands, you're now our favorite child.
When are we gonna start charting in Wakanda? I want to be in Wakanda.
So that's going to be us for the week. We love you. Thanks for listening. Please send us to a friend, send us to an enemy, share us, like us, subscribe us.
Is
The
your friend
things.
constantly talking about having sex, and you're like, "Shut
This
the
is-
fuck up"?
This is
the
the
one to do it.
perfect episode to send to them. Is your friend sexually angry and wants to go to prom at the age of 40? Perfect time to fucking send an episode their
Hold
way.
on. Yeah, I have an idea. Let's do this thing, and this is this isn't for the podcast. This is specifically for social media that we're going to do.
Perfect.
We'll leave it in the podcast so that you know what's happening. We're going to do the heavy lifting. And I think maybe this could be a new segment where we're going to tell your friend to stop talking so much about sex.
Okay.
Right? So like you don't have to, you can share it to your story and be like, so true. You know what I mean? Like,
and then
send it to the group chat and be like, got it.
Yeah. And then it'll like, maybe it won't work, but maybe it'll be like, huh. Can people talk about sex too much?
Okay. Are you ready? We're going to do it.
Okay. Same time, one after another.
What?
And we do the same time, we're doing one after another.
We're not going to do it at the same time. We don't know what we're going to say.
We're improvisers.
Script.
We're improvisers. We're incredible. Wait, you haven't been reading the script for this episode at all? How did you accidentally say everything perfectly?
That's why that question was so hard for me.
Why is this in the script?
Oh God! It's
how
one of those
are you still reading it?
Fielder. Okay. So we're just gonna be like,
just go. We're gonna.
Hi. We're here to tell you something that your friends want you to know. Now, what is it?
No one cares about how much action you're getting, and you're talking about it too much.
We don't care, and it doesn't matter. No. And your friends are getting annoyed that you think that they care. It's not interesting that you're having sex.
No. So be chill. Enjoy the sex, and maybe enjoy time with your friends a little bit more by talking about things that matter.
And we're happy that you're having sex.
We love it. I hope it's good. I hope it's, pleasurable. I hope you're all having fun, but
your friends are sick of hearing about it. See? That's a social media clip right there.
We did it.
Now people can share that. People will share that. Look at all this chest hair I'm showing too.
Let's do another one real quick. 1, 2, 3. Hey. You should dump him.
I was trying to do it at the same time, but I can't hear you while I talk.
You should really be able to hear me. This is very important to what we do.
I can't hear you when I'm talking.
We're still rolling. You got to wrap this up in a nice little bow.
Sorry, what are we doing?
Hey. You should dump him.
There's no world in which this relationship is going to end well.
Yeah, and the longer you spend in it, the more time you're not spending out there finding someone who's better for you.
So do yourself a favor and do him a favor, unless he's a piece of shit, and then just kick his ass to the curb. But end it, because you should dump him.
And move on. These are fun. All right, we should end the episode.
Yeah, well, like I said, I feel like we've got a lot of these in us.
Yeah, that'll just be the show from now on.
We will only work in 30-second clippable bits.
Very vague things that give unsolicited advice to very vague problems. But I will say, if there's something you want us to say, you let us know, and we will do a dedicated one for you.
Yeah, if there's like a person you need to specifically call out, we won't say a name.
We're not going to say their name.
We will go after that specific problem that you can just like, oh, what a weird thing that this podcast does. Like, and it's weird that they talked about it.
We'll get just specific enough to be deniable, but like that it's maybe a little too specific. It's weird. Are they talking about me? We'll bring it to that level. Okay. Ready for some bad sex writing?
Yep.
Join us on Patreon. Join us on every social media. Join us next week. We love you. Mwah.
Every social media.
Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvard Cities, for the song Paper Stars. This is from Cat's Cradle. The women's breasts were bare and paltry. The men wore loose loincloths that did little to conceal peenies like pendulums on grandfather clocks.
Now, what are these men doing that is making their dicks go side to side?
Because like such walking, a rhythmic fashion.
It's a bounce, right? That's
not the way these guys put a little stink on it. They sashay.
These guys fucking walk like old timey cowboys.
It's more the metronomic pattern to me that is interesting. You know what I mean? If you can keep time, that's impressive.
Let me tell you, if this was the Dune Desert, they'd be fucked. Because that's how the sandworms find you, because of the rhythm. You have to walk off rhythm. If your dick tick-tocking like a grandfather clock, you're going to get eaten by Ashitara Gorathon.
If you're
whatever. They all have stupid names.
Dick talk. Maybe that's it. Maybe they know the rhythm so that they can walk out of step with their own cock and balls.
Oh.
Right? How can you break the rhythm if you don't know what it is, man? You know what I'm saying?
I like that you abandoned whatever you were going with dick talk.
I did it. I brought the train to the station. What am I going to do? Drive it into a wall?
My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm House Bane.
And we've been your fuck buddies.